When you're working on your button design within Build-A-Button, of course, you'll be paying attention to the overall image preview area. After all, that's where you're designing your actual button layout. And in the context of that image preview area, it's very important to be aware of which portions of your button will actually be visible in the final button itself. With this design that I'm working on, for example, the text is far too large and will not appear in its entirety on the front of my final button, and that's because that text falls outside of the actual button area. To get a better sense of this issue, it can be helpful to click on the Instructions button up at the top of Build-A-Button. That will show you a guide for the overall image area layout. Notice the dashed red circle, for example, that indicates the image area. In other words, the portion of your design that will actually appear on the front of your final button. So you'll want to make sure that the text and imagery that are important for your button design actually appear within that red dashed circle. You'll also see an indication of where the tagline will appear. This will print in reverse and appear on the back of the button. And then there's also a bleed area, which gives you essentially a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to cutting out your final button design as you're assembling your button. In other words, if you had a background color, for example, that color would extend into this bleed area, but that actual area would, at least for the most part, not show in the final button. So again, the image area itself, indicated by the dashed red circle, is perhaps most important of all. And so I'll click the Instructions button again to hide those instructions, and you can see clearly that the text is far too large. And so I would want to resize that text to make sure that it appears completely inside of that dashed red circle. Notice that part of the image that I've used in this button design does extend outside of that image area, but in this case, I'm not concerned about that. I just want the key area of that image to be included on the front of the button, and the rest can just fall out of view. The key is to pay attention to that image area in particular, since it has a significant impact on the appearance of your final button.